doing, ladies and gents? Good evening to you, wherever you may be. Market's chugging on. Actually, interestingly, I noticed, and I don't know if anyone follows the Commitment of Traders report, but Commitment of Traders shows there's quite a lot of people who are, or small speculators, shall we say, who are net short the Dow. So, it's ripping at the moment. Market's got a lot to digest. Lots going on, obviously, geopolitically, inflation, all sorts of stuff. Market is kind of left, right, up, down. Maybe it's resolved to the upside. Maybe it's a trap. Who knows? That's the fun of trading, right? Trying to decipher what's going on. Okay, so today, I'm just making sure that it's showing the right screen here. I thought for a second I was showing my Dow chart, which would have been very boring for you. I'm sure you were watching the markets. Anyway, today, I want to do something a little bit different. Before I kind of talk about what we're going to do and how it's all going to work and what I've got for you and how I think it will help, let's just remind ourselves, as we have to, that is a very risky business we're in. Trading, especially using leverage product, is high risk, high potential reward, but high risk. Hopefully you know this already, but please, if you're brand new to trading, and now and then there's a couple kind of jump on the webinar. I think most of you are developing traders, intermediate traders, maybe advanced, or beginners, but have some experience. Now and then I get a brand new trader in, and I just want to make sure, hey, listen, understand the risks involved in this, okay? And there's plenty of sort of resources if you're not sure, plenty of tools to use to mitigate risk, stops, small size, demo accounts, etc. So I hate to hear of anybody losing money because they didn't appreciate the risk. Losing money because you made a trade didn't go your way, that's the way it is sometimes. But losing money because you didn't quite understand the product, that we shouldn't be doing that. So just double check. Right, let's move on. Okay, 20-day trading reboots. Little quote here from, I'm looking forward to this one. I'm really looking forward to this one. This is going to be good. Okay, Michael Marcus quote here for you. It's not enough to be right. You must also be disciplined. And Michael Marcus, as you don't know, excellent trader, great returns, did very, very well out the markets. And so, this is, pretty spot on, right? You've got to be disciplined. You can't just be right. You must also be disciplined. And I think let's just ponder that for a moment, because what does that mean? It means, hey, you can't just say, I think I'm going to go long and just go long and it goes down, market goes down 500 points before it rips. It doesn't make sense. It's like, okay, I'm right, if you like, in my thesis of being to the upside, but I would be disciplined to wait for my correct entry. That's one of the ways that you could perhaps interpret that. Anyway, I want to start off with this because I know some of you are probably logged on just to get this. That's fine. I'm sharing with you. This is my discipline tracker. If you're at tradersmastermind.com/discipline-tracker, you can download this. I don't know how long I'm going to keep it up there for. I'll share it with you. You're kind enough to come on and spend some time with me. Hopefully you get some value from it. This is my discipline tracker. I'm going to show you how to use this later on, but I know a lot of people just jump onto the webinar to perhaps get this. Maybe you're going to have to go off, whatever. Hopefully you'll stay here for the whole duration, but if you don't, it's there. But I will talk about this and how to use it and how it plays a part in this 20-day reboot and then sort of next few moments. Okay, so quick reminder here. I don't have all the answers. Maybe I should introduce myself. Some of you may not know me. My name's Mark Holstead. I run tradersmastermind.com. You can find out more about me there on the About page. But in a nutshell, trading for 22 years at 23, over 20 years. Love the markets, love everything about the markets. Try to share what I think is valuable, and also see other traders as well, how they improve. And I should try and share some bits from other people's improvements and developing traders and stuff. So you can check out my website, tradersmastermind.com, podcast on there. You can sign up and join us if you'd like. But there's plenty of other content on there. I've got a free daily email as well that I send out each morning with sort of thoughts and different ideas on. So I don't have all the answers, but I'll share with you stuff that I feel is valuable, but also encourage you to do your own research, analysis, homework, that kind of stuff. And if you implement something, recognize it takes time. So implement the change, stick to it and see the results. We don't want to be chopping around, changing things. And observe the results and make those course corrections and don't give up on the journey. Okay, so quick reminder, you can now spread bet through TradingView and Pepperstone. So you can link your TradingView account up to Pepperstone and trade via a spread bet. Handy if you're in the UK. You've got the tax advantages of a spread bet. If you're not in the UK, then you can still trade the CFD product through TradingView. And while we're here, just a reminder, I've uploaded all the previous webinars that I've done onto the webinars page on my website. If you go top right, learn, scroll down, hit webinars, you can access all those webinars. Pepperstone have them on their YouTube channel after a while. They will also send you a copy of the recording, but I then link to that and also add some context and maybe some links that I talked about in the webinar. So if you want to access everything, you're very welcome to go in there and check it out. And like I say, my daily email and some more stuff that you can explore while you're there. Okay, so let's stop scrolling so much. Good old Apple Magic Mouse. Okay, so what's our goal? So let me just backtrack a little bit. So today we've got an hour. I'm going to try and talk for 45 minutes, maybe a little bit less, then with some Q&A at the end. So the goal here is this. I know that there's a lot of stuff to do in trading, right? We feel like we've got to be journaling, we've got to be studying, we've got to be doing this, doing that, and it can feel overwhelming. So I kind of thought about this for a while, and I thought, okay, what's a good way of getting as many people as possible to take some action, move the needle a bit, and then use that momentum to drive forward from there? And, you know, I've done webinars, we talked about specific things like stops and trend trading and mean reversion and strategies and discipline and all this kind of stuff. And it's great to hone in on one thing because that's what's required. The work is required. But actually, you know, sometimes it's saying, okay, let's have a look at a broad overview. Let's have a 20-day sort of goal, if you like, and let's try to take things up a notch, reboot your trading, reset things, build some good habits in just 20 days. So I'm going to break down kind of the steps into daily tasks, all become clear in a moment. And it's the idea is to build that momentum. So if you're sort of spinning your wheels, things aren't working, you know, your plan's not as good as it could be, you're not like confident pulling the trigger, you know, it's a bit muggy, you know, hopefully this is going to really help you move forward. So it's plans, strategies, goal, all sorts of stuff. And we're going to touch the surface and give you that daily task and routine to do so that after 20 days, you go, actually, you know what? I've achieved a lot. Forget about P&L for now. I've achieved a lot. And then using that momentum and confidence to move forward. And then hopefully that translates into your P&L, because it's too easy just to focus on P&L, but actually doing the work and the process to build that robust system, that robust methodology, the thinking, all the stuff that goes with it. And then hopefully that's going to help your performance as well. Okay, so tasks. Let me just make sure I haven't missed a slide here. I'm doing two. I should stick with the keyboard. Let's stick with the keyboard. There we go. Task. Okay, so what I'm going to do is give some tasks. And really for new traders, it's good building blocks and foundation. If you're a developing trader, hopefully this kind of draws a line under what you've done, builds on what your screen time, your experience, and helps you kind of start a new chapter, if you like. And if you're an experienced trader, is to reboot and kick things up a gear. So I'm going to give you a task to do each day. Now, these tasks are going to vary from kind of writing something down, learning, thinking, analyzing, reading, some respect. Complete the task in each order, so don't skip any. Doesn't mean you have to do every day. So let's say you trade Monday, Wednesday of next week. Treat that as day 1 and day 2 rather than day 1 and day 3, if that makes sense. So do these in order. They're done specifically so that you gain something from each task you do, but don't skip any. But it's okay if you're not trading that day or you're not want to do your task that day. Just don't skip from day 1 to day 5. So do them in sequence. And we've got part 2 of the webinar, or part 2 of this webinar coming up in 2 weeks. I think it's 10 trading days. So you can either do 1 to 10. We do 1 to 10 now on this webinar, and we'll do 11 to 20 on the next webinar. So give you time to kind of do those tasks and build up momentum ready for the next leg, and we're going to build on that so that after those 20 trading days, you're hopefully, I'm pretty confident you're going to feel pretty good and get some good forward movement. So tasks take between 5 and 45 minutes, and I've designed these as a blend of building the right mindset and the technical skills. We know it's psychology and strategy is this kind of balancing act sometimes. So I've kind of blended those as best as I think on the right recipe. I think I found the right recipe here. And by the way, I'm going to do this as well. I'm going to do this. I don't think it matters how long you've been trading. Sometimes you just have to do some stuff to refresh things and change things in your thinking and maybe come up with new ideas and what have you. So I'm going to join you on this. So hopefully we'll all improve whatever level you're at. All right, so let's start with day 1. And by the way, this theme is we starting with understanding what we're doing in trading, right? What we're doing, where we're headed, why we're headed there. Then we're going to build on that. There's no point in us going straight into going, look at the market, look at the market. So this is very carefully crafted to help you move forward and kind of hit your goals. So write down this. Why are you trading? You might be like, I just want to make loads of money. But that's fine. If that's it, then that's fine, right? But I'd be more specific than that. It's like, have you allocated a small amount of your capital to trade aggressively and use this high risk leverage trading that day trading essentially is? Are you trying to develop a skill that you can use for life, something that's going to help you pinpoint trades and get you involved in something that you love to do? Is it something that you want to really kind of take up as a bit more seriously? What is it? Why are you trading? And then your long-term goal. So, and by the way, of course, I'm going to give you a copy of this stuff at the end so you can download this and work out exactly where you are. Your long-term goal. Where are you headed? And this is important, right? Because very often we can fall into the trap of, let's say you're scalping away, and actually your long-term goal isn't to be sitting in front of the screen all day scalping. Maybe it is. If that's fine, that's good. Or maybe your long-term goal is something different. Maybe your long-term goal is, I want to be here. I want to be in this situation. I want to have this size account. I want to do this and that, and then work back from that. 3 year, 1 year, 3 month. And the reason I kind of split those up like that is that your 3 month goal is where you just become honest and say, hey, my long-term goal can be as big and as bold and as wild as you like, right? That's the beauty of that long-term thinking, because we can achieve a lot in the long term, sort of 5 years, 10 years, whatever, maybe even 3 years, to be fair. But when you go 1 year, 3 months, you've got to be a little bit pragmatic and a little bit more sensible about what you're trying to achieve. There's no point saying, hey, I'm going to hit these massive numbers when you've got a modest account size and your experience is low. But you can say, hey, you know what, after 3 months, I want to kind of get to a point where maybe I'm, just stop spinning my wheels a little bit. Maybe got a bit of traction. Maybe you've dialed in my, approach. Maybe you feel more confident in how I'm trading, not dealing with brutal drawdown. Maybe I'm stabilizing my equity curve a bit. That's sort of goal that you want for 3 months, depending on where you are at. Obviously, if you're an experienced trader and things are going your way, maybe you want to up the ante a little bit, put the throttle down a touch. So that's what I want you to do on day one. Write down those 5 things. Okay, so now day 2. Stick with me on this. This is valuable. So I've talked about this before, and if you can go on the webinars page of my website, you can see, I can't remember the title of the website, webinar was, you'll find it, but if you want to go into more depth on this, it's there. But this is helping us work out where you're headed, why you're trading, what you're doing, who you're doing it for, your why, all that kind of stuff. Now we want to work out on day 2 is your task for the second day. Imagine the trader you're becoming. What does he or she look like? How do they act? What's the environment? So what I mean here is, imagine yourself sitting at your trading desk and you're thinking to yourself, okay, what do I look like? How am I dressed? How am I holding myself? How am I sitting? What am I doing? What am I looking at? How am I acting? What's the environment? Where are you trading from? Are you trading from, a dedicated office? Have you got a room that you've converted just for trading in your house? Have you've got a garden office? What have you done, right? What's the perfect environment for you? And this helps your brain say, right, I know what he wants, she wants, and that's there, that movie's there, and I know the goals. So every decision I make is going to hopefully align me with those goals. And that it sounds like, oh, I don't want to get all like woo-woo on you, but this type of stuff helps with the day-to-day challenge of trading when you're making those impulsive decisions sometimes, and you're perhaps maybe not making the best decisions that you could do. Hopefully this kind of recenters you and goes, hang on, is that my goal? Should I really be getting caught in this chop trying to scalp this 1 minute chart when actually my movie is suggesting that actually what I'm doing is I'm coming in the morning, I'm reviewing the trades, I'm putting some orders in, I'm trading for the open, I'm walking away, or whatever it may be. So it's making sure that you have clarity on what you're trying to achieve in trading. And I know maybe we lose some people here, but the right people, if you're still here, you're listening to this, go, yeah, right, this resonates with me. I am ambitious. I do want to achieve something decent here. Okay, it's worth putting this effort. Because I watched a movie on Netflix the other day. What the hell was it called? Mercy, No Mercy or something. Not the best movie, but anyway, the guy is like a true story of an amateur sailor who makes this boat. I don't want to butcher it for you, the story, or ruin it. but effectively he's out there and he's kind of navigating the oceans with not really any direction. He's not well prepared, and it ends as you'd expect it to end, right? Well, not as you expect it to end. It ends badly for him. Let's just put it that way. And there's some parallels with trading, and there's so many traders out there who are putting this work in, and all they're doing is just steering this ship, this boat, just around. They're flat out, the red line of the engine, doing the work, but there's no real heading they're headed to, and so they can't make these course corrections every week, every month. Say, I'm slipping into short-term trading, or I'm slipping into this, and I want to be this. Let me just nudge myself back on the straight and narrow. So I think it's very, very important. So day 2, your mind movie creation. It'll come clear in a moment while we're doing this. Okay, so day 3, we'll get to some of the more juicier stuff, if you like, the strategy and plans and all this type of stuff in a moment, but this is important. So day 3, environment and tools. Just make sure everything you've got is as it should be. Your office and trading environment. Have you got the software you need, your subscriptions, if any services you need? Is every chart's dialed in, your broker's dialed in? You've got the right hardware? Is it time to upgrade that laptop? Do you need to clear the laptop? Do you need to add like a bigger trading station? Do you need to, what do you need to do, right? Just make sure everything's as it should be, not lingering, saying, I really should change my chair and I haven't done. Just do it so that you can go, right, I'm ready to go. Books to read. 5 books, trading books you haven't yet read that you want to read. Get those out. Maybe they're on your bookshelf. Maybe they're in your Audible library, Kindle, whatever it is. Get them ready. What are 5 ones that you would like to read? And then check out just things like connection speed, your stability. Then I want you to sort out either printer or a tablet, iPads with Apple Pencil, or printer ink is fine. This is for marking up your charts. We're going to talk about that in the next couple of slides, but some way to do a review that's physical. So rather than just on the screen, going to get you off the screen. I suppose iPad is still a screen, but it's different from being at your workstation. You can do this elsewhere. You're either marking the chart up from a piece of paper with a marker or a pen, or Apple Pencil I use on a tablet, on an iPad, and any other brand, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. So it's just something that you have ready, and it's absolutely fine to use printer, but making sure you've got things like printer ink. It's amazing how we make these ridiculous excuses. I didn't mark up my chart because I run out of red ink. It's like, God, man, do you want it or not? So just order some damn ink from Amazon. We've all been there. These silly little excuses. Just make sure we've got no excuses. Okay. So now, before we go to day 4, you now have tasks to do each day in addition to the task for that day 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever it is. Okay. So, and I'm going to follow along with you. So I want you to read 5 pages of a trading book that you've got. You've dialed out those 5 books. So just 5 pages. You can read more if you like, but just have your mind into growth. So that book that you wanted to read, just 5 pages. Didn't take you long, but that hopefully creates a momentum and you might read more. But just 5. Write down those goals that we talked about back up here. Those goals, why you're trading long-term goals. Write them down just once a day. Again, we're reminding ourselves where we're headed. Do your visualization process with that mind movie you created before, where you want to be. Imagine yourself trading in the environment you want to trade in. What do you look like? What sort of account size you're managing? What are you trading? The assets you're trading, the type of trader you are. Just have that there. I want you to do that every day. 5 minutes, all you need to do. This is not going to take you long, not at all. Mark up your charts. So when you've traded, or if you haven't traded, your favorite instrument, the one you like to trade, print it off, mark it up. I don't want to go into kind of massive detail, really, or 20 past about how you mark up your charts, but very briefly, it's like, okay, what are the swing points, the time of those swing points, assuming you're a day trader? What happened at the London Open, the Asian session if you're trading Forex? What happened, the equities open? What was the opening drive if I'm trading equities? Was there a clue to reversal? Was there a large candle range? And what was the volume like? What was this like? Just marking up things that are important to you on your chart, whether you're doing it on your tablet, whether you're doing it on printed paper. That's what you do every day. Now, here we go. This is where it gets you like, oh gosh, record a selfie video. I'll be like, oh, doing what? Dancing? Making some sort of recipe? No. What I want you to do, and the reason, I'll tell you why I want you to do this, and why this is such a valuable thing to do. Get your phone, record a selfie, and you'll want to, it doesn't make it to be long, but the point is here is you are talking to your phone, and you're talking through the day. You're saying, hey, do you know what? I chased that trade a little bit. I probably shouldn't have. And it's almost like the phone becomes your coach, even though it's a one-way street. but being able to talk through the challenges of the day, the good things you did in the day, and sort of be on the spot, if you like, even though obviously it's just you holding the phone, helps you activate a different phase of your mind or different area of your brain. So rather than just the traditional marking up with charts and stuff, you're actually talking through. And I don't know about you, but that really helps me talk through. I'm such a person who sits in front of the screen and goes, right, talk through my trade idea. This just helps you review. So at the end of the trading day, you record a very, very short video. Everyone's got a smartphone, or nearly everyone's got a smartphone. It's an easy thing to do, and it just helps you activate different sections of your mind. And the number 6 is fill in your discipline tracker. So you've got that link for that, and I'll give you it again in a moment, so we can keep track of our progress. And the idea, in fact, I won't jump the gun. I'll talk about that in a moment. So those are 6 things to do each day in conjunction with your daily tasks. It's not going to take long, and I purposely designed this stuff so that it's very, very short. And you do little bites. If you're improving 1% each day, massive improvement over 20 days. And that's just to get momentum, right? We're there just to get momentum. Okay, so day 4, markets, time frame, and risk. So now we just double check, firm up your choice of market, time frame you're trading, risk parameters. Now, risk parameters are interesting because I think a lot of traders come in, stick some money in an account, and maybe make a trade that's possibly too big, take too much risk on, draw down and go, damn it, I didn't really want to draw down that much. Oh, maybe I'll try and get it back, and activates this kind of tilt behavior, if you like. So, the one way to do this is to say, right, and let's just use an arbitrary number, 10 grand, right? 10 grand. It doesn't matter what the number is, okay? But let's just use 10 grand. You might say, hey, if I went down to 8 in a week, I wouldn't be happy. So what would I be happy with? 9, or no, maybe not. Maybe 9.5. Happy to risk £500 in a week. Just say, for example, and you comfortable with that weekly risk. So then you go, right, okay, if I'm happy to risk that, because trading's risky and doesn't always work for us. So what does that mean I need to risk each day? Now, one way of looking at that, let's say you had £500 as your maximum weekly risk, okay? And just pick any number. It could be 5 grand, 50 grand, 50 quid, doesn't matter. It's £500. You then say, right, well, each day I could risk £100 if I lost each day. Or I think more strategically, and a better thing to do is to say, okay, well, actually, you know what? Maybe I'll risk 250 a day. And if I have 2 losers, I'm out. So if Monday, Tuesday, my 250, I'm out. More likely it's to be maybe have a max loss in on day 1, 250. Next day, maybe you make 100. You still get your weekly risk of 500 there, but it means that you've got that emergency stop. And it's like, okay, listen, if I lose 250, I'm done. So your weekly risk, dial it down to your daily risk, but also recognize that actually if I lose twice or I don't make anything, I'm out there. I'm out the week. I need to sit out. Or you can split it up into 5. Personal preference, you can do £100 a day, or you can do that. But just think about different clever ways of doing it. I'm always of the mind of, you know what, if you've had 2 days where you've hit your loss limit both days, you're probably out of tune and you probably want to be sitting out for the week. Or maybe you do, hey, 200, I've got 100 spare, I will sit out for 1 day and then I'll go half size on the final 2 days. There's little ways of doing it, but just writing this stuff down. And this takes you what? 3 minutes? Probably not, maybe 5 minutes, right? It's 5 minutes, but it's getting clarity. The whole objective is to get clarity and know and treat this with more respect, if you like, and saying, give it the respect it deserves and say, okay, I know what I'm risking. There's my monthly risk, my weekly risk, my daily risk, and then dial it down to your trade risk if you need to. Okay, we're out of time, and we're good. Day 5, methodology. So Linda Raschke calls these, LBI Linda Bradford Raschke, calls these profit centers. And of course, you might not always make profit, but what I mean by this is, and I like this way of thinking from her, is you don't have to just be pigeonholed into, let's say you like to scalp GBP USD intraday, right? But then maybe you like to swing trade equities, or maybe you like to trade after news on NASDAQ, or maybe you like to trade the morning after trend day on Dow or something. So you've got these different areas and they're almost treated like separate businesses, for want of a better word. And so you kind of write down and go, okay, well, actually, I do like trading that. I'm not just going to trade. I mean, you just do trade one thing, that's fine. But you work out the different sections that you're trading and how you're trading those. Work out your strategies, broad naming for now. We'll go into more depth in that in a moment. So I like to buy pullbacks. I like to trade mean reversion on exhaustion moves. That's simple. Keep it simple for now. The chart patterns you'll trade, the time of day you're going to trade, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., maybe US Open, whatever it may be, all day with some breaks, whatever. Are you going to scale in or out? Are you going to add? Just having a rough methodology here, just getting an idea of kind of where our direction is. Okay, now it gets a little bit more fun. So day 6, so now we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't forget, every day you're doing those additional daily tasks as well. Now day 6, we're going to define the strategy, and hopefully you can see why we're doing this, guys. We're doing this because all of this saying you should do all this and we should do all this, it's just overwhelming. It's like, oh my God, I've got to do this, do that, I read a thing and that. What if you break it up into chunks and go a little bit each day? Look how easy it is to do this stuff each day. And before 20 days goes by, it goes by in an instant, right? You look back and go, I've done that. That's the reason why we're kind of doing this over a 20-day period rather than saying, hey, this is all good stuff to do, because it just overwhelms. So day 6, strategy define. Give each strategy a unique name. This is a fun thing to do because it brings it to life, and it doesn't have to be anything, crazy. It could be absolutely anything. 2 pints of beer. It could be the purple frog strategy. It could be absolutely anything, right? You could name it after a name. You could call it like the Walter's strategy, whatever. It doesn't even matter, right? The point is, that is assigned to that strategy. So you say, right, let's say I'm buying pullbacks, okay, and you name that the Apple Pip strategy. Why not? I'm thinking of Apple Pip, but the Apple Pip strategy, right? And maybe you buy pullbacks on Apple. There we go. We'll call it pullbacks on Apple, the Apple Pip strategy. And you build a plan around that. So that now has its life of its own, and you have that own sort of documentation for that. You know what you're going to do, and I'm going to buy on a pullback. And my filter trigger process is I want to see the market drive at least X%, pull back to a moving average, and then when I see a good range 5-minute candle, I'm going to pull the trigger. So you have a filter and trigger process for each. And we talked about this before, but this is really important because you've got your strategy name, your plan around the strategy, and your filter and trigger process for each. I want to see this type of move. That's my filter. Now I want to see this as the trigger. So the trigger may not always be triggered, but as long as it's within the filter, you take it. So have some fun with that. I know that there's a couple of members in Traders Mastermind who come up with some really interesting names for their strategies. It kind of brings them to life a little bit. And it's a little bit of fun, right? It can be a little bit dry sometimes in trading, and there's a lot of pressure on us to perform and do this and do that. So why not make it fun and come up with some sort of just interesting name for it? All right, day 7. So we're on day 7 now, and when you've got those strategies and you've kind of treated those like your own little child there, you build a setup library. So day 7, alongside the kind of day-to-day stuff that you want to do, find at least three examples of each trading strategy. So go back in your charts, look at winning examples and ones that got stopped out, screenshot them and file them away. And the idea of this is you start to build a library of examples of your trading setup. So if we do the Apple Pip, should have been better prepared than that. Should have had a name for you. I didn't. The Apple Pip strategy. Okay, you say, right, all the times that Apple's done this, it's driven hard, pull back, I'm going to do that. Or all the time cable's done this, or whatever market you're doing. You get the examples and examples that didn't work as well. That's important to build that library. And it didn't take long to do this, does it? But again, if you had all this stuff to do the bird and you'd be like, oh man, it's going to take so long to do this and do that. So very simple to do. 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes this takes. Goes back, look at your trading strategy. Let's say you're taking the open range breakout and you only take it when you have a decent first 5-minute candle. So and let's say you're trading NASDAQ on the first opening 5-minute candle at 2:30 UK time. You go back, go round, you look at that big range bar, you say, hey, if I get that, I will take it as a break above the high of that bar if the range is the biggest it's been for the last 10 days, for example. The biggest 5-minute opening bar for the last 10 days, as an example. Okay, so there's your filter, and your trigger is you take it as it breaks through to the high if it's green, to the low if it's red. Now you go back and find all those examples of when it worked, when it didn't work, and they're very easy. Then you can kind of look through and you can build this repository over time. It's kind of what I did with the product I'd made called Trading Plan Pro, where it's kind of kickstarts you by putting some of these screenshots in so you can build your own library and file them away with your setup, because you want to become an expert at that, your little world. The market's huge. There's so much choice, so much opportunity, which kind of is a hindrance in a way, because we go in and go, I can trade anything I want, any time frame, any market, any instrument, and we get bogged down in it. Whereas, you know, as retail traders, our job is to find a little edge, a little slither, a setup that's repeatable, an edge that's repeatable, and become a damn expert at that. Whether it's trading the close, whether it's trading mean reversion, whether it's trading, you know, day after a trend day, day two play, whatever it is, a pre or non-farm payroll Bollinger Band strategy, whatever it may be, and just becoming an expert of that. So part of becoming an expert is to build this library, your personal library of examples, clip the screens, put them in a folder or print them out, whatever you need to do. It doesn't matter how you do it, but just the act of doing this as well helps you kind of prove to yourself that you're serious about this. You start to build this over time. And you know what? This builds. This is the sort of thing that you can build and build and build. And then when you go back and review it, you go, a little tweak I could make to improve that strategy. Well worth doing. All right, that's day 7. Don't forget you're doing daily tasks as well. Day 8. So pre and post trade habits. What's your pre-market routine? You need a pre-market routine. What are you checking? Checking the overnight chart, you're checking the daily chart, checking the news. Even if it's simple as that, you need it. It needs to be clear and there needs to be no ambiguity. Create a Google Doc for that. Fine. What's your post-market routine? Are you doing your journaling? Are you marking up the chart? Are you reviewing the trade? Are you, whatever you're doing? It doesn't matter how in depth or not, but you just have to have some sort of routine to prepare for the mission and debrief from the mission being trading in the day. And just have these dialed in. This takes you no time to do. Again, creates this level of professionalism, creates this level of confidence, and it's something that you can now stick to. Because you think we've only done 8 days. 8 days disappear like this. And now you've got your strategies, you've got some examples of the strategies, you've got your visualization process you've been doing, you've got your goals, all this stuff, and it's only 8 days in. So it's amazing how much progress you can make and how much of a positive knock-on effect this will have, or potentially could have, and the promises, of course, to your bottom line. But just think how dialed in you'll be when you've got all this stuff sorted out. Okay, day 9. You might be pushing back on this one, but it's worth it. I promise you. Find a trading buddy. You might be like, oh God, trading buddy. I like the whole reason I went into trading markets so I could be on my own and just trade stuff. I don't want to deal with anybody. I get it, right? That's one of the appeals for a lot of people for trading. But the success rate in sort of prop firms, if you like, is, I'm not talking about the online prop firms, the office prop firms, is so much higher because they have that camaraderie, they have that learning from each other, they have that support, they have that stuff. And so find a trading buddy. And this is absolutely not a plug for Traders Mastermind, but one of the things we do in there is we have a trading buddy allocation. So every quarter you allocated a trading buddy, and people have found it so valuable. They've made good friends, they've made accountability partners, etc. But you do not need that. You do not need that. If you want to do it for free, you can go elsewhere. Twitter, there are, I think Lance Brightstein has put like a database of people looking for a trading buddy. You can Google him and then put the sort of trader you are and what you trade and your experience. Go on forums. And many years ago, I met a couple of trading buddies who are still friends with now, sort of 15, 16 years later, who I met on forums. And the best way to do that, I know they're dying out slowly, forums, but the best way to do that is to see someone posting this type of thing they're posting, and then maybe reach out to them, say, hey, this is why I trade, do you want to chat? And just start things going. Facebook groups, specify who you are, what you trade, or what you're looking for in a buddy. This is so valuable. I can't overstate how key having somebody who understands trading is. Even if they trade some different instrument to you, helps. Whether you speak to them every day, or you speak to them once a week, whether you exchange emails, whether you jump on Zoom calls, phone calls, texts, whatever, just having a trading buddy helps loads. Because let me tell you why. Number one, you get feedback on your trading and you get to talk through your trading with someone who understands trading, which is invaluable. But number two, which is something that people don't recognize as much, is that you get to see other people making errors and making good trades and mistakes and all these pros and cons of trading. And you can give them feedback. And sometimes you see or hear yourself saying something and think, you know what, I should perhaps implement more of that. I can see me in that trader. They're doing that, and I can see that's wrong, but I often do that. and I'm also offering a solution, maybe I should look at that solution. So it's a really, really good kind of way for humans to interact, get that trading buddy. And like I say, we do it here, I do it Traders Mastermind, but you don't need it. You can find it anywhere else where traders are congregating, right? Okay, day 10. So in 10th day, now you've done your stuff every day. New strategy exploration. Explore a new strategy aligned with your method. And this is fun, right? Because it can become a little bit dull, a little bit, oh, same old, looking for this strategy, no trigger today, or whatever it may be. Have some fun with it and go, right, I like to day trade. Let's say you like to day trade crude. You might be like, okay, can I day trade NASDAQ? Is there another strategy I could trade that's aligned with my methodology and my approach? And all of a sudden you start swing trading obscure equities. Doesn't make sense. But maybe you research a strategy and maybe you've read this book, or maybe you've heard something or watched something and said, I quite like that strategy. Let me dig in a little bit more. Let me explore. Let me be curious. Let me be inquisitive about this. Go back, look at some charts. I mean, I love doing this type of stuff. Going back, looking at some charts and maybe doing some Googling, see if anyone's done any kind of data crunching for it. Maybe, observe stuff myself, write some notes, be curious and open-minded. This is where edge is found. Edge isn't really found in the same place everyone else is looking for edge, unless you've got something special. Edge is found when you observe something sneaky, like, I didn't say sneaky, but something like, okay, I've noticed that the market will nearly always want to be at VWAP before big data points. So I'm going to trade mean reversion if we extend away from the VWAP in the hour before key data or something. I'm just thinking out loud here, but it could be anything, something that's aligned with the way that you trade. Maybe if you're a longer term trader, you trade over 2 or 3, 4, 5 longer term, you trade over a couple of day period. You might say, hey, actually, after a big trend day, we have a tendency to retrace and then retest that high. That's something I want to play, or whatever it is. So if you explore these different strategies aligned with your method. So day 10, your task on day 10 is to explore new strategy. And again, spend 20 minutes on it, 20 minutes out of your day, but it's almost certainly going to trigger something in your mind, ignite some of those neurons and think differently about something. Even if you don't discover something good, you'll think differently and just expand your brain a little bit about the markets and what's going on. And even if it's learning about something that is maybe not even something you want to do, it just can all help. It all helps. And one thing I will say is, if you have edge at the moment, it's working for you, that edge will dry up at some point. And so it makes sense from an operational perspective to be constantly looking for new strategies. And really, the best traders have strategies that are working for them now, but they're constantly testing, they're constantly looking what else is working, and then bringing that in anticipation of one of them drying up. And so that's a perfect position you can get yourself in as a trader. These strategies work well, they're doing okay, but I know the market conditions are going to change, not going to last forever. I'm also researching this. Let me bring this in. Let me trade that small size. Let me bring that one in. Let me constantly be looking and exploring so that you are dynamic and you're adjusting your edge as conditions change. That's the perfect scenario. You can always do it, but that's the perfect place to be if you can. All right, good timing. So let's remind, okay. So discipline tracker download, tradersmastermind.com/discipline tracker. Twice I butchered, such an easy word as well. I'm out of time to say discipline tracker. I'm just mindful of time and I'm rushing. This is for Google Sheets, by the way, if I mention that. Google Sheets download. Now, the way that you can deploy this is you have to have a Google account. It's free. You can use a free account. The link will take you to copy that spreadsheet to your account, and then just be careful what you amend, because you can mess it up if you're not careful. It should be pretty self-explanatory, but the way it works is that you can add your daily habits on the left-hand side. Let's say you're going to do whatever it is, good habit you're trying to do, bad habit you're trying to combat, a check you're trying to habit, just anything, you know exactly what you're trying to do. Put it down the left-hand side, have the goal of how many times you want to do that this month, and then every time you check it, the little checkbox there means it just the goal, the progress bar will increase, and it goes to 100% when you finally reach your goals. If you say I want to do it for 10 days this month, I want to make sure that I don't meddle with my trades, for example, or I stick to my risk rules, or I visualize my performance, or any of those 5 things that we've said they want to do every day, 6 things we've said every day, fill in my discipline tracker, check, then that just starts to show the progress. And you can visualize your progress with those donut charts, etc. There's a weekly habit section at the bottom as well, which does the same thing, but over the week. And each tab is a duplicate. So you can do November, December, etc. Hopefully you know how a spreadsheet works. One little tip is, if you want to highlight, you want to take all the check boxes off, you can highlight them with your cursor, hit space, and it'll toggle them on and off. So if you want to just clear them all out, you can do that. So the idea of this is that you fill this in with the habits you want to do each day, and then you do your progress for a month, and then you say, hey, how did I do? Well, I did it 8 days and I wanted to do 10. Okay, fine. Next month you say, right, well, actually, I did 8, I'm gonna try and do 12, and you just try and stretch yourself each month to build the good habits and sort of break the bad habits. So yours, download, keep, like I say, if you're watching this recording, don't know if it'll still be up there, but it's there for you. Hopefully it helps you out. It definitely does help. Okay, so summary, here we go. Goals was day 1. Mind movie, creating that mind movie, was day 2. So goals was that long term and the sort of shorter term goals. 3 was the environment and tools, just making sure everything's dialed in. You've got your good desk. Maybe you want to purchase a stand-up desk. Maybe you want to do this, get whatever it may be. Just making sure your environment is as good as it could be. Give yourself the best possible chance. Work out your markets, your time frame, your risk parameters. So working back from I like to do it from kind of a weekly risk perspective or monthly risk perspective, depending on what time frame you're trading. Methodology, your approach, your definition of your strategy, your trade setup library, building that, pre and post trade ideas. What you're going to do, your checklist before the market, at the end of the market, trading buddy, find yourself a trading buddy. And number 10, new strategy exploration. And then every day after day 3, because you're kind of creating these in day 1, 2, and 3, 5 pages of a trading book, write down your goals, visualize for 5 minutes, mark up your charts, record a selfie video, and do the discipline tracker. And we will reconvene in 2 weeks' time, which is 10 trading days. So if you kind of do every day, fine. If you don't, that's okay too. If you do 5 days, that's okay. You just carry on. You'll still have the information in 2 weeks' time, but you'll be able to then do 11 to 20, and we'll carry on and we'll build this momentum. And then after that 20-day period, you'll be different. You'll be in a completely different space. You'll have all this stuff that's dialed in. You'll have read lots of your book. You'll have visualized so much. You've written down those goals. You know where you're headed. You've marked up your charts, built that daily habit that you want to build up. You've recorded that selfie video, done your discipline tracker, and you've got that there, given that to you so you can use that. There's no reason not to use it. You define your strategy. You've got your names, your methodology. You know, this is good stuff. This is stuff that's going to build your foundations to help you springboard off. So I really hope you do it. And I've put this together for you to hopefully give you value. Try it out, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna help. So next 2 weeks time, do 11 to 20. Next process will move forward, and yeah, let me know how you go. You can actually, you know what, if you want to, if you're on my daily email list, tradesmastermind.com/email, you can just go onto the website and sign up for that. Many of you are already, I know, it's why you're here. But reply to any of those emails. My assistant Armand deals with all the emails. I never see any of the emails, but if it's someone who's asking a question, he will actually, hey Mark, you know, this guy's asked a question or said something, you know, have a look, and he'll forward it to me. So if you want to reply and say how you're getting on, I'd be super interested to know if it's working for you, any feedback on it. Then just reply. The best thing to do is reply to one of those daily emails, and that will find its way to me if it's relevant. So there's that. Okay, good timing. That's actually pretty good timing. We are almost 1:45. Let's take some Q&A, ladies and gentlemen. Please, if you have any questions, feel free. If you don't, that's great. Off you go. You've got your tasks. Hopefully that's been of value. All right, so I've got a little questions section here. Let's have a look. Okay, so good evening from Johannesburg, South Africa. Okay, good evening to you. Let's have a look. Excellent, thank you, Mark. Day 3 is so fundamental, so true. Build the physical foundations. Use OSB for free video software recording. Okay, great. Sorry, not OSB. OBS project. So someone's put in obsproject.com. Don't know anything about this URL. Use it at your own risk. People type some odd stuff in this questions. I'm telling you. So that's not a bad solution, Adrian, is to record your trades or record your thoughts and thinking on to do that. Or also don't let anything stop you, man. Just film on your phone if you need to film your trade. Yeah, great. Gail's put, thank you. Rowi's put, dear Mark, it's been a long time. I was here, haha, your daily email is awesome, valuable, good. Back to trading, down crude, used to trade. I feel like a bit of a mess right now. I'm confused. I think it's my trade risk stop because my direction is correct mostly. I really like momentum running on the tape. I know what you just showed might help, but would you suggest doing only a bit each day, or can I do a few together at once? I think the reason that I kind of chucked, good to have you around, Rowie. The reason I broke it up like this is because I feel like we can get overwhelmed. If you want to, you do what you feel best. If you want to do a couple of days, then fine. If you feel like you want to get some momentum and do days 1 to 3, then I'm not going to say don't do it. I'd rather you do it than not. And if that's the way that you can do it, then do it. But the purpose of doing it is to kind of build the habit. And I think if you do it all at once, you lose the habit of what you're trying to do. So the idea being is, you just go, you build the habit, you build the neurons, you wire the way your brain is thinking. So I would suggest that. And a comment I've got for you, I'm just going to double check. You feel a mess right now and confused. I think it's your trade risk stop. Okay, so again, not personal advice or anything like this. Everyone's different. Tolerance is different. But if it was me doing that, I'd just scale everything right back. I'd just be like, hey, listen, you know what? I need to just dial down the size, widen the stop, take that out of the equation, take the stop out of the equation. You say he got direction right most of the time. So let's just use that to your advantage. Obviously, your stop placement is what's hindering you. So widen that stop right up, have a small size, and say to yourself, hey, you know what? Let's just calm things down a little bit. Let me just see, and then review and go, do I need to readdress how I am placing stops? Am I placing them too tight? Am I placing them too wide? Just take that out of the equation for now. So that's what I would do if I was in that situation. What else have you said here? Anything interesting? I think I've addressed those questions. Thanks, Rowie. Alana says, my favorite webinar yet. Thanks, Mark. Glad to hear it, Alana. Zeres Hodivala, I've butchered that, says the discipline tracker page isn't coming up. Should do. Discipline-tracker. No one else seems to have said anything. Maybe it's your end. I will double check it and make sure that it's up, but it will. I checked it before I came out. Mike Finelli has put, curious if anyone here is a student of Mac Thomas Wade through trading the 2000 tick ES chart. Okay. Esben said, great presentation. Perfect for a new trader like me. Will definitely follow the plan. Good man, Esben. Let me know how you get on. If you're here next 2 weeks' time, which you will get an invite for if you signed up for this, then you will absolutely, hopefully, get some momentum. Okay, and same gentleman who I butchered the name for, I said, it's incredibly timely for me, by the way. I've been specifically looking at how to get more professional for a little while now. Good man, exactly right. Getting that level of kind of professionalism up. And I know that many of us are retail traders here, but just from a kind of perspective of putting the work in and dialing things in and taking it a little bit more seriously, because it can be like the advantages of being able to trade from wherever we are and all this kind of stuff is good, but it can make us a little bit sloppy. Human beings, we tend to be lazy, right? We tend to default to laziness. So if you can, sharpen up things and take things a little bit more seriously, I agree with you, man. I think that's a really good way of doing it. All right. Mike says, we'll consider joining Traders Mastermind if there was someone that trades the same strategy as I do. Would be great to find a trading buddy this way. Yeah, Mike, there's a mixture of people in there. I don't know what strategy you're trading. Have you mentioned it above? Oh, you said you traded 2000 tick ES. I don't know anyone does that. Well, obviously ES traders in there, and S&P 500, CFD traders and stuff, but I don't know if anyone per se who's trading the 2000 tick. But one thing to say, and whether or not you join or not, I'd love to have you on board, but if you don't, then I think that even finding somebody who understands trading and being able to really talk about it, and actually even if it's not the same, I would argue, and listen, you find what works for you, but I would argue sometimes actually someone who trades too much like you can get advice and market context you don't want. You don't want, if you're ready to position short and someone's like, I'm ready to go long on this, it's like, oh, what do I do? Whereas if someone's trading a completely different market, you can talk about your plan, the way you approach trading the ES, and someone else can talk about how they approach trading cable. And you can see things from their perspective. You can then objectively review their trades and review and help them without having any bias of what your performance has been like in that particular market. So I don't think it always pays to do that. There can be advantages, of course, absolutely. I don't disagree, but don't rule out if you find someone who's trading something different but on the same time frame with the same ambition and the same kind of desire to get better. I think that can be a win. Wrong button here. Great. Helena said, great session. Thank you. Appreciate your feedback. Rowie said, appreciate that. Varuna, do you have any trading book recommendations? Anything by Jack Schwager? Honestly, Varuna, anything by Jack Schwager is great. Is absolutely great. And what else have we got? I like Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. I like Pitbull. I like, a lot of people recommend Trading in the Zone. I never really got that much out of it, but crowd pleaser, that one. Tom Hugard's book Best Loser Wins is good, so that's really really worth checking out. What else was a really good one? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Linda Rashke's book's okay, Trading Sardines. I can't order it from Amazon, unfortunately. You have to pay shipping wherever you are, but that's not too bad. You got a bunch there to be going with. Lee says, thank you, Mark. Adrian says, a free book for you, Inner Voice of Trading, Mark. Thank you for the tracker, the energy, dedication you helped me to recover. Brilliant. Thank you so much. And you've set a link there, Martin Chronicle. Thanks for your feedback, guys. What good books are you suggesting to read? I'm totally new to trading. I feel this is too big for me. Can you help? If you're brand new to trading, I know we always get the odd one or two here. Obviously, make sure we understand the risks and stuff with trading, but there's not really. Thank you, Mike. Steve Ward, Bulletproof Trader. God, Steve will batter me if I didn't mention his books. Great books. Going back to that point, if you're new to trading, then books are funny because they can guide you down a path that isn't really the right path for you. So maybe just market experience, noting your observations, trading on demo. There's loads of free content out there. Just being a little bit curious. And then when you find something that's maybe interesting, you can kind of start to look at books. Trading strategy books, they're okay, but I feel like sometimes they're a little bit out of date when they come out, but it gives you an idea of how to kind of research stuff. And you look at Wyckoff, for example, that's always the test of time. Taylor Trading Technique, these type of things stand the test of time, but they're more frameworks rather than strategy stuff. So new to trading, just absorb free content, observe the markets, excuse me, write down your observations, trade on demo, trade small, and just really kind of be inquisitive and to get an idea for what you want to trade, time frame you want to trade, market you want to trade. Just try and test and explore, and that really helps loads. Is the URL tradersmastermind.com/discipline_tracker? No, it's -tracker. That might be why it's not working. It's discipline-tracker. Let me see if I can bring this up for you. I'll leave it on, shall I? Yeah, discipline-tracker. What's this say? Okay. Let's have a look here. I don't know. Use keywords: lost earnings, correlation, expected, vol, and I'll talk. I don't know what you're on about there, Alice. Traders win and lose. That's just the nature of the beast sometimes. Actually, in my daily email, talk about talk about a trade that lost and how we can really analyze it and dig in and understand and learn from our losers. That's 100% the game is to learn and improve from the losers. You know, this notion of winning all the time is complete nonsense. It's not to be believed. So, you know, the nature of the game is like, as Tom Hugard says in his book, Best Loser Wins, understanding, hey, I'm going to lose, but I need to make sure that I don't make those losers too much. And that's the nature of the beast. Earnings, yeah, I mean, trading through earnings, yeah, I mean, you can do, but it's not my bag. I prefer to trade the momentum after the earnings. Correlations, not interested in that. I don't really trade that. Expected vol, I mean, if you're trading through earnings and you're trading options and you're selling options, you're trading iron condors and that type of stuff, fine, but not really for this this webinar. Okay, so could you please show the slides for day 1 and 2 again? Okay, Judge, I can do that. Where are we? I'll put day 1 up, give you 5 minutes, then move it to day 2. Okay, thank you for the webinar, Mark. I started reading High Performance Trading. Steve Ward, brilliant. Thank you, Beth. Great webinar. Thank you, Susan. Bulletproof Trader. What's the name? Jack's what? Rowie? Jack Schwager. Jack, SCHWAGER. I think if you just Google or put into Amazon Market Wizards, then they'll all come up, and they're all great. They're all great. Some of them are very old now, but they're all great. Baba. Trading is about experimenting. Absolutely, it is. Got it. Thanks. How do you mentally recover after losing big time? Can you also show day 8, please? I will do. Okay. Day 1. Let's put day 2. I'll do day 8 in a moment. Oh, that's a big one. You know, I think I've talked about this in another webinar, so I won't go into it too much detail. Maybe I know you'll remember, Adrian. So send me a DM or Armand a DM, and there's definitely content on there to help you recover after a big drawdown. But really, the biggest thing is just stop. Just stop. Let the emotion dissipate. It stings. You've drawn down. It's not ideal. You need to deal with it. You need to let time for that to dissipate before you get back into the markets. And then you come up with a plan of action. You trade small. You trade one thing very, very small. You just build the confidence back up. And then over time, hopefully that momentum starts to build, and you start to then, you know, get that P&L back up. But you can't focus on the P&L. You've got to let the emotion dissipate. A lot of people say, oh, just carry on trading and stuff. Listen, if you feel crap about it, that's going to bleed into your trading. So, you know, you just have to, you know, really let it go. Let it go. It's going to happen to the best of us. You know, even the best traders in the world have some drawdowns. They're like, God. But it's how long you take to recover. And actually, the good thing is once you, and here's something to point out, Adrian, got time for this year, just about the separator is how you recover from the drawdown. And once you've recovered from drawdown, no matter how long it takes, no one can take that away from you. That confidence is there forever. So drawdown is given. You're like, damn, I didn't want to draw down too much. But you go back into sort of self-preservation mode. You dial things back. You let the emotion dissipate. You start slowly, methodically improving. And if you recover from drawdown, you go, you know what, I can do it. I can recover from the darkest depths of drawdown. If I've done it once, I can do it again. And that changes the way you think. It changes the way you perceive drawdown. It changes the way you perceive loss. It helps you to really just be much more pragmatic about loss. So if that's happening to you at the moment, Adrian, then, you know, you can deal with it. And if you recover, just think how much confidence boost that's going to give you. Artie says, show day 8, you should ask me. And I'm waffling on. And we've got about a minute. Let me just scroll through. There you go, Artie. I'll give you a copy of the slides, actually, if you like. I know you remember. Alice says, that's what I was hoping to hear. Could be get a copy of the slides, please? Yes, you certainly can, Pete. What I will do actually is, I'm not sure if I've added the PDF. But what I think I'll do is, I won't be able to do this tonight, but I'll get it done in that I will add a PDF copy of these slides at some point, or get the web guy to do it, so that it's on that thank you page of Discipline Tracker. That won't help you if you've already downloaded it. I said, here's the best way to do it. If you reply to the daily email with, can I have a copy of the slides, Armand, my guy, will send you a copy of the slides. I'll get them in PDF format and he'll send them out. I know it's not as clean as it could be, Pete, but I don't think I put them up in time on there. So that will definitely get you a copy of the slides. So if anyone else wants to do that, just reply to that daily email and Armand will absolutely get you a copy of the slides. Okay, so all right, ladies and gents, thank you so much. Adrienne, yeah, no problem. Just send me an email, Matthew, and Armand will deal with that and send you a copy of the slides. Okay, thank you so much. See you in 2 weeks' time. Let me know how you get on. Bye-bye.